I honestly can't figure out why they think men make such great guides in any area. Because as somebody who was a guide in the outdoors, they literally are the worst guides. Because being a guide, and I'm going to tell you about my first time snowboarding, because this is what made me realize that men just don't care. But when I was a guide, being a guide requires you to be, oh my God, look at him. It requires you to be, you have to anticipate the needs of others. I thought men don't know how to do that. I thought men are really bad at that, weaponizing confidence. You have to be pay a lot of attention to safety. We know they don't do that. Like, just ask a car insurance company. I'm sorry, I gotta give you a view of this. You have to be very aware of everyone's emotional safety, right? And men have not been raised to do that under patriarchy. And you have to be really good at just, like, seeing into the future, seeing everything that could go wrong, how it could go wrong, how you're going to deal with that, and how everything connects, right? Because you're looking at weather, you're looking at the emotional safety of the people you're guiding, you're looking at their possible mental breakdowns, you're thinking about, are they hydrated, have they eaten, like all the things that could play into that. And men are, they are capable of it. But what's so funny is that, like, when they want to be guides, literal keeping people alive, which is what parenting is, but keeping people alive in extreme situations, which I'm sorry, but, it's way more extreme to be, like, skiing or out in the wilderness dealing with this stuff than, at home. But men claim they can't do it at home, but then claim to be experts at it out there in the wild? Are you kidding me? Wait, I got to show y'all something. That's a good boy. You're so funny. Look at that. I'm honestly surprised that I ever went into the outdoors after my first time snowboarding. I had been, oh my God, the dogs. My first time ever snowboarding was when I was living in Montana. I grew up in the South, y'all. I didn't know how to ski. We don't even have like mountains, much less snow. I mean, we have Appalachians, but whatever. I didn't know how to get off of a ski lift. I didn't know how to put a snowboard on. I didn't know how to walk with a snowboard. I'm trying to show my dog, y'all. It's really hard with this angle. I didn't know what clothes to wear, nothing. And a bunch of my guy friends were like, yeah, we'll take you snowboarding. We'll teach you some stuff. They didn't teach me anything. We showed up. They were like, got all booted up and, geared up and stuff. And then we were like about to get on the lift. And I was like, wait, how do you get on this thing? They're like, yeah, you just get on it. And I'm like, how? So somehow I get on the lift. Somehow I get on the lift with one strapped in with one boot on the snowboard. And then, like, luckily I didn't fall off the lift because there's like a whole way of, it's like you can fall off those lifts. Chairlifts are not necessarily the safest thing. So then we get to the top and I'm like, oh, wait, how do you get off there? And they're like, yeah, you just get off. It's actually really hard to get off on a snowboard, especially if you don't even know what edges are. You don't know anything about snowboarding, anything about like skiing or like nothing. So I like fall off when I get off and then I hobble away to get out of the way so that the next chair full of people aren't like, pah. And then I'm like, so what do we do now? And they're like, yeah, you just go down. They left me. It took me all day to get down that mountain. I did not know how to stop. That's like putting someone in a car with a brick on the accelerator and don't teach them how to turn the brakes on. And they're like, have fun. So I literally was just like, it was awful. It sucked. At one point in time, I went over like the edge of like one of the tracks into like a bunch of trees with snow, like up to here. And I thought I was going to like drown in snow, like the never ending story in that horse or whatever. Like it took me forever to get out because I was covered. I don't even know how I did it. All I know is I was like a good hour being like, how do I get out of this with this thing attached to me? It took, and then towards the final hill, and again, I didn't even know what the difference was between black diamond, blue, green. How do you put someone on a snowboard and not even tell them that? So the last part, like, this was literally, like, they were about to close the mountain. I can't believe I even made it down at all. The last part, at one point, I just sat on my snowboard and just went, pfft. And then when I got too fast, I just roll off of it because I just gave up. I gave up trying to get down on this board and just literally, what I should have done was walk. But it never occurred to me to walk because I wouldn't want to look stupid. As if what I was doing wasn't already making me look so stupid. And then I get to the bottom and they're like, how was it? I don't even know how I found them, by the way. This is before cell phones. Really? Like, seriously, this is when the cell phone was the size of a suitcase in your car. And so I finally found them, and I was like pretty traumatized from all this. And they're like, yeah, bro, man, that pallet, blah. Every single time. I can't believe I ever went snowboarding again. Luckily, it was one of my buddies who was a raft guide, taught me how to ski. Now, looking back, I think he probably secretly liked me, but he never made a move on me. He actually did what friends do. When guys are attracted to you and there's no indication you like them, he actually never tried anything on me. I always wondered if he liked me, but he never put me in an uncomfortable situation. But he taught me how to ski. He took me on a few lessons because he was a ski instructor, and then I became a kid ski instructor so that I'm like, well, because I moved to Taos, New Mexico, where they didn't allow snowboarding. So I had to learn how to ski. And then I became an instructor. I'm literally teaching pizza, french fries. But at least I knew, I had really good instructions on how to ski from big instructors who were world class. And then and then I just taught kids. And basically we went on the Strawberry Hill or whatever it's called, the kid hill. And, it was basically dealing with kids who were like, I want hot cocoa, and kids who peed their pants and crapped their pants and stuff. I dealt with more pee and poop as a kid ski instructor than anything, honestly. But I swear, every time I tried to go skiing with any of my guy friends, they ditched me. They absolutely ditched me, even though I was one of them. I was I was a climber, I was a raft guide, I was, I was all the things. But because I was not as good at them at skiing, they're like, bye. So the only time I just skied alone all the time. Skiing is it's so much more fun when you go with people, but I literally just skied alone all the time. Unless I went with women. Women were the only ones who didn't put their selfish need for adrenaline. Oh, look at that. Oh, who didn't put their selfish need for adrenaline and over the needs of others. Oh my God, look at that. I love it when he lays like that. So yeah, it blows my mind that I could talk about this forever, y'all. Let me know if you want more content like this. It blows my mind that men are considered leaders. Are you kidding me? They can be good leaders. But they're only good leaders if they're in charge of countries that only care about war. like my country. When they care about people actually living and thriving, and even just doing okay, unless they've done a lot of work on themselves and are more, unpacking all this stuff, they suck. So yeah, I'm not saying that women can't be bad leaders. They absolutely can. But at least we are conditioned too much so to think about everyone else, so that we don't even know who we are, what we need a lot of times, because everything's about what does everybody else need? And we don't even know ourselves. But at least that's if under patriarchy, cishet women, especially, because we're taught to be raised to serve men and all the babies that they want to put inside of us. Yeah. Of course, we're going to be thoughtful of how to manage a whole household, a whole town, a whole state, a whole country, and be a great guide in the wilderness. So go with your girlfriends. Don't go with men. Don't go with men. Don't go with your boyfriends. Don't go with, unless you know that they are, aware of how selfish they've been conditioned to be. Don't go with them. They're reckless. Look at that sweet baby.